And Raw Impact is coming Friday, June 21st to St. Bridget's Center for the Arts. And Illusive Artworks will be there as well. Let's find out more right now. We say hello to the owner of Illusive Artworks. Annalee Yerxa joins us. Hello, Annalee.
Hi, it's so great to be here.
It's great to have you here. You have an amazing story. But first, quickly about Raw. What can you tell us about Raw, what it means to you?
It's basically a wonderful gathering of local talent. It's a way to showcase people who may not have great visibility already, as well as bring in a network of artists who may not have interacted otherwise.
Yeah, and you'll be networking as well, meeting all kinds of great
Absolutely.
talented folk. Okay, so Illusive Artworks. Tell us the story about how it began as a way for you to cope with mental illness.
Yeah, for me, art is something I've done casually most of my life, on and off. My mother is an artist as well, so there was always inspiration in my life. And it can serve as a few things for me, a distraction, a way to analyze my own feelings. And then somewhere after having a child and you know, life changing, it occurred to me that maybe there was a way I could share that coping tool and that healthy aspect of art with others.
Okay, so how do you use art as a coping tool?
So for me, there are a couple ways it serves as a tool. At its base, it can be just a distraction, a way to focus on something more beautiful than pain or struggles. But on a bigger scale, I actually use it to analyze things that might be subconscious, things that I'm having trouble making sense of. And it literally illustrates them for me. And it's a tool for gathering that knowledge and working through it in a very literal and physical way.
That's great. I know we have some photos of some of the amazing artwork of yours. Let's have a look at this. I mean, that's incredible. So can you explain this piece?
This piece, is a very literal representation of my mental illness. So I'm diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And often for me, that means feeling split into two contrasting personalities. So here we have the very much attached but separate two sides. The darker and the slightly more manic, the wide eyes are to do with anxiety and panic and stress. And the darkness around the eyes of the one figure is that depression, those down phases, and the way that they're forever attached, though. One cannot exist without the other.
It's amazing that you can tell that story through your artwork. And this, I assume it's probably a similar type story.
Absolutely.
Perhaps,
this one was born out of frustration with my own mental illness. It's literally titled, Get Me Away From Myself. It's about wanting to step outside of it for a second just to get away. And even though that's not possible, and that's why they stretch and still connect, even though there's a broken dissonance between the two.
Wow, and this piece as well. Tell us what's going on here.
So this one was actually inspired by my own story as well as that of a friend of mine, and it's about overcoming traumas. So on the left, we have the past and our own experiences and traumas that will always be part of who we are as we transition to the right and to the future. But there is an acceptance of being someone better than just our traumas, and that's why the right side is brighter.
Okay, and his hand here, what's happening?
Very literally drowning.
Really?
So that was born out of a day where I felt overwhelmed and like I couldn't pull myself out, and that's that feeling of going down into the dark blue.
I can tell that you really put a lot of thought process. Here's another one into this, into your artwork. Like it's deep. It's deep, and I can tell that it's therapeutic for you, just the way you're speaking about it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I learn a lot about myself through my art too, and I've learned a lot about how to overcome those darker times and be okay with them. Okay.
The pieces that you brought with you as well, so these are unfinished at this point?
Yes. So these are two different stages in my process, which I like to look at because for me, there's a lot of anxiety around the creation process, and it's very easy to get flustered when a painting looks like this and isn't very pretty. A lot of people tend to give up because they're already focused on the end result. But for me, I look at these to remember that this process is beautiful no matter what the painting looks like. My act of creation is beautiful regardless of how it looks on the way. It's not about what it looks like or what it might end up to be. It's about sculpting and creating.
And you say as well the whole process of creating art is ugly. Well, what do you mean by that?
So by that I mean that it can be difficult. It can be stressful even, and it very literally, creates images that aren't pretty. And so I use the word ugly because not something we should actually shy away from at the end of the day. I think I used that word to explain that it can seem scary, but you need to embrace it.
But can I say, though, from someone looking in and having, say I didn't know your story, the artwork's quite beautiful.
Thank you.
Quite visually pleasing. So that's good. That's good. Okay, so Raw Impact, how many pieces do you think you'll have set up at the event?
I should have between 10 and 20, so there will be quite a good selection, as well as prints, which are a lot more affordable than the originals, of course. And I'm starting a new line of what I call well-being and positivity cards, so artwork on cards with positive statements.
That's good. And I know you can find your stuff through Etsy.com, Illusive Artworks. Annalee, thank you very much.
Thank you
story,
so much.
Great artwork. We wish you all the best. Raw Impact, June 21st is when it's taking place. More daytime is coming up right here on Rogers TV.